the ninth chapter. And we're going to start at the 19th verse. It says, these are the three sons of them was the whole earth overspread. So quite naturally, we know that the earth exists, the present, and the multitude of people stem from Noah and his three sons. And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine and was drunken. And he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Jatis took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father, and their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son to him. And he said, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, shall he be unto his brethren. And he said, blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. God shall enlarge his heifer, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant. Okay, so basically, I was thinking about all the different black people, certain people black in the Bible, like you stated, the kings and the queens, and of that nature. And I began to think about how Ham, a lot of people, they say that, well, we're a cursed nation. We're downtrodden people. We're gonna always be servants. We're always gonna be a servant of others, But I began to think about how God even was so gracious that Ham was offered the opportunity first, when he appeared and seen the condition of his father. And it wasn't anything that his father did wrong, he was just, drinking of the fruit that was planted, that he had planted. So he was like, his reward. But I think about how Ham, he had the first opportunity. God allowed him to first see this situation of condition of his parents. And instead, he chose to walk away and talk about it to others, which was his brethren, And so I began to think about how God still yet give us opportunities of being a people, regardless of how tried we're talked about, regardless of how we always try to fall for our equal rights, but God is just still gracious. He still give us an opportunity to do the right thing. I think about Spike Lee movie that he had. He said, do the right thing, And so we being of color, although perhaps the story, it happened to him, well, we can kind of like, what can we do to kind of like, change things, And I begin to think about how, opportunities, they arise naturally in our life, And so it depends on what do we do, how do we, reflect on these, certain as these opportunities come. The word of God says as the opportunity arises for us, to always make an attempt to do good, And I begin to think about how Ham, instead, he went to his brother, and talked about this matter. And a lot of times, those are the negative points see how his brothers, they came together, unified, and they went backwards. The word of God stated, and they didn't even want to look at their father that he was in. They had so much honor and so much respect for him, and that they chose to go backwards so they cannot just be affiliated and see their father. And a lot of times, being a culture, we need to have more respect for one another. And especially have a love of God, it should teach us to be more mindful of each other and more respectful of one another, and take note of others as well, the net and the unity that they possess. Because the word also says where there's unity, there is strength. And a lot of times, culturally wise, I'm talking about a negative that can be turned into a positive. You know, a lot of times, you know, we're not as respectful as we should be toward one another. And we're not ourselves, you know. But here it says that how Ham, although his name means or George, but yet still it says there's a majestic part of him as well. And I begin to think about how there's an inner thing inside of each and every one of us. That's the reason why so many look at us and they want to portray the lips. They want our body structure, you know, and a lot of times with the hair and all that, they even want the texture of our hair by mimicking the styles that we wear. So there is something majestic even with a servant, you know, even being a servant, there is something wonderful and something beautiful that can come even from a servant. And so here they have a father, he knew all along that, as the word stated, that he knew which son did what. You know, and a lot of times if we just get up and do something, just do something. Just don't come to a conversation that, well, it is what it is, you know. We're all just like that. Our type of people just don't get along. But if we were first join in, let us lead the way for one another, you know. And so it'll help somebody else. But we do our part, you know. God will do the rest. If I do my part, God will help show somebody else do their part, and so on, and so on, and so on. That the majestic could continue to go on. And I think about what Aretha Franklin, she sung her song. She said, all we need is just a little respect. Well, our cultural people, they're looking for respect. That song has been sung, they still striving for the respect of others. But, you know, we have to portray some type of dignity and self-respect in ourselves as well, you know. So if we want to be kings and we want to be queens, we have to talk like kings and queens. We have to dress like kings and queens. So the world can see that, hey, they're not just servants. It's something wonderful and something great that can come out of these people. So that's what I wanted to bring out. God showed me that early this morning, that I can be better than what I am. Regardless of, you know, a lot of times people try to put you in a box, and we put our own self in a box as well. You know, we won't try to befriend anyone other than what we're comfortable with, you know, and a lot of times we're satisfied just sit and remain in darkness. But as kings and queens, and even Jesus began to say, he said, I no longer call you a servant, I call you a friend. So we can also ask God to help us to get out of that nature of being a servant and be really what God has called and he desires in us to be, so that others can see it will be a light to them as well. And then when God calls us home, we can leave a legacy, you know. I can be known not just as a person that once perhaps was a servant of my culture, but I can be something great. So that's what I want to leave with y'all.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was wonderful. I mean, really wonderful. Okay.
And so you were saying something else, Sister McNeal?
I was just saying, I wanted to get, I wanted to hear that, what y'all, everybody speaking on, because
Okay.
I have to leave.
Okay.
And thank you for taking that time. Thank you. And I love a different approach to ham. And that was really great because Ham is usually not, as you say, he's usually depicted negative. And he basically, Ham was the one they used to justify, slavery. We're going to be that servant. You're always going to be that servant. But you gave Ham a different perspective. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that.
All right.
Great,
Wonderful.
great. Before you walk out the door, who would you like to call on next? You decide. We have. I want to hear Sister, the president. Okay, she's calling on Sister Shirley. She's passing the talk. She's passing the talking stick to
All
you.
right, I got it.
I'm gonna probably be a little late, but I want to hear her.
It's in okay, I have the baton. Thank you so much. Nimrod, talking about Nimrod, and some people get the impression that anyways, Cush's son. And which is he's a grandchild of Noah. And so Cush was, I mean, the scriptures tell us about him, and I'm going to go to that scripture, which is really magnificent, talking about him because it tells us that he was a great warrior. And I'm going to go to Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 8th through 12th verses. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech, and some the pronunciation in one of the encyclopedias is Urek, but it's Ereck, and Akkad, Accad, and Cain and Calneh, Calneh, in the land of Shinar, and some say Shinar. So out of that land went forth Ashur and builded Nineveh and the city of Rehoboth and Calah, and resin between Nineveh and Calah. The same is a great city. And they say that he built all of these cities. Now, some want to say that maybe he built them or maybe he went in and started occupying them or both. But it tells us in some of the research that I did, it said that he built these cities and said he's also the first to establish what is it, a community or like a city dwelling, in a community like that. And he was also a great hunter, and said he was also had a great stature. And then they also want to connect him. They say, well, he was a great builder. You can tell all these cities he went in and built. But they say also that he built the foundation for, they credit him, some do, for the Tower of Babel. But they also say that they don't believe that he had anything to do with trying to build up to God. And then some people say that he did initiate it because they say he had such power, he was of such a stature, he had so many, he was so gifted and so blessed by God. Some tried to say that he wanted to go up there so that he could keep God from raining down justice on people. And then some say also that they were trying to build it because they wanted to make sure that if a flood came again, that it would not wipe them all out, even though God had already said, I'll never flood the world out again. And so many interpretations of his life and everything, but the thing that they can agree on is that he is of African descent. And if you see some of the images of him, you can see the features. And of course, on some pages, they have him of more like European and all that. But then also, they go back and they talk about the Garden of Eden, because the Garden of Eden is somewhere over in Africa, they say. Uh-huh. So that's where they originated from. That's where they ended up. So he was a great warrior. He was a great builder. He was a great hunter, and it said that he was blessed by God. And some people want to, like, they want to do him, as Sister McNeal said, want to have a negative on him. But we have to realize that every single thing happens for a reason. Every single person is in this world, past, present, and future, for a specific reason. And so these men did their parts, but then, of course, like Sister McNeal was saying, there's always going to be a negative spin because of envy, jealousy, and all of that. But the fact remains that civilization started over in the East, in Africa. These people were of a dark color, and these people were very, very smart. They were very industrious, and that's why we are here today. The world was based on where God put us in the beginning. And they also say, going back to Adam, that Adam was not of a real light color either. Right. Adam was more brownish, and I'm pretty sure Eve was. So I'm going to get back to this. So he was Cush's son. And then he became the first of the kings, the first of the kings, the first to establish a, like I said, society and all of that. They say he was a mighty hunter and he was blessed of God. And people can say what they want to, but he was blessed, and his name became proverbial. People would speak of someone as being like Nimrod, a mighty hunter, blessed of God. So the heart of his empire included, of course, we said Babel, Erech, Akkad, Calneh, and the land of Shinar. From there, he extended his reign. All of these cities, this man was somebody. His reign in Assyria, he built Nineveh, he built what is it, Rehoboth, yeah. He built Calha, and he built Rezin, located between Nineveh and Calah. And so the main city of his empire. All of this, and it goes into so much. But anyway, he was a mighty man, Nimrod. And I had, like we say, some people have their own opinions. They do the research. I've been watching this morning and listening to these accounts of Nimrod, and they have so many different accounts of him and different things like that. But one thing about it, this man was a brown skin. They can call him black if they want to. But he definitely was, and he was a great hunter, great warrior. He was a man blessed by God, and of course, he did so many great things. And I'm going to stop there. Maybe one day I'll be able to go on further into it. So I hope that suffices.
Yes, I will applaud too. Definitely.
It's,
I love you guys.
I
I love y'all so much.
love you
Thank you for the
too.
opportunity.
And
Y'all
I
have a blessed, great day.
and when I get this edited and everything, Sister Mill, I will get a copy to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Love you too.
All right. Oh,
I guess I'm next. I guess I'm next. I'm not a person of many words, so I'm just gonna just come straight to the point. Caesar, uh, I am a, he was the founder of, let me see, I got a little note of Rome. He was born, from what I read, born September the 23rd, uh, 63 BC. He, what he's noted for is the expansion of the next part, some of it is the expansion of his empire and parts of Central Europe, and during the invasion and some of the invasions of Germany. And the month of August was somewhat what they said was named after Caesar Augustus. And let me see what else I got. And he is known for restoring peace in Rome. And go to Luke. I think it's. Let me see. I'm kind of my throat kind of sore. Luke 2:1. It talk about him. You know, I don't have my partials. It talk about him, so I might say words that's easy for me to say. For the head count, I can't. I thought you said. I can't. My tongue won't let me say it. But head count of Rome, he did that, and he was in the period of Jesus Christ and John the Baptist, and he reigned in those periods of time, and then he was the emperor of Rome, like I said, and that he, from what the book states, he was the only ruler that died of natural causes. Now I'm gonna spin off a little bit from reading a little bit I read. I kind of glanced at Cleopatra, and it's a lot of controversy over whether she was black or white. Excuse me, girl. But now the pictures that they gave, and I have never noticed stuff like that until I started reading. So she had the flat nose and the pointy chin, and I started thinking about that, and I looked at the Caucasian race. They have long nose. And most of the chins, I have seen some with some kind of pointy chins, but anyway, most of the chin structure is round, but square, round, whatever you want to call it. But that's just about all I had time really to kind of glance at a little bit, and that was kind of a rush thing for me. And but I do have to give Lighthouse a little bit of praise for the teaching on the different topics. But and I have to look through now. Some of my words might come out the wrong way. I have to look at. I don't recognize any of the churches talking about these people, and so, but Lighthouse is doing teaching. They're teaching the different cultures of the black man, and I have to praise them for doing that. But I also have to, like I said some stuff that come out wrong. I have to look at the churches too for not doing anything, not speaking out, and about our heritage too much. The only one I hear about most is the one carried Jesus cross when Jesus died, and the others that I don't hear too much about. I let this Black History thing come up, and Pastor Davis, you did a deeper research into Nimrod that I did there, but I appreciate you bringing out all those key factors in there.
Okay.
And I have noticed in in my different churches that I have attended that sometimes ministries don't grow because of the background that most men and women they were brought up in. They were brought up in the black churches, the Baptist churches, and they tend to stray away from women having power. I might be wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
They stay away from that. And my period of time and the different churches that I have gone to, they don't allow women in the pulpit. I have seen ministers get up out of when a lady go up in the pulpit, they get up and they walk out of their church. And then it comes from some of the teaching that the Baptist preachers taught us about the man is the head.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that stems, and that's when a lot of churches don't. Don't join ministries and pastors and so like a church join churches that women are scared of. I had a problem the other day. I'm a little bit sick, and sometimes I talk too much. I'm gonna get off this. I don't know who is on the line.
Brother McCollister, just go ahead. Just go ahead and deliver your soul.
I have noticed that I was sick, and like I said, sometimes I talk too much, especially when something affects my health, and I make doctors or people, supervisors or whatever, I may make them angry because it come out the wrong way. And then I find myself apologizing for it. And then I come back and I tell them, yeah, I meant it. I meant what I said. There ain't no reason to lying about it. I meant it. And some of them take offense to that, and which I don't care, But anyway, that's just my nature. Whatever God allow me to say, I say it, and I might apologize, but I'll come back and say it, tell them I really meant what I said. But that's the reason a lot of churches and a lot of men, pastors, don't, I'm going to say, cater to women's ministry. They kind of shy away from it because they don't feel like women should be in charge. And I'm going to leave it like that and hush.
Okay, Brother McCollister. Well, thank you for telling that. But I want to, if you'll allow me, because there is a scripture that is used to try to justify that. But then we also know that throughout the Bible, God uses women as leaders. Okay, so we know. Okay, so 1 Timothy 2 verse 12 says, "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence." And that is